Thank you for downloading the Flixters podcast. On this week's episode,
to his brother, and says, "Hey, listen, I've got to tell you something. Can I trust you?" And the brother's like, "Yeah, of course you can trust me." He goes, "I've got someone in the basement." And the brother's like, "What? What are you talking about? You've got someone in the basement?" He goes, "Yeah, I've got someone in the basement, and the person in the basement is the devil."
the killings were graphic, they were excessive, and they were a bit old school in their style, in that the blood and effects was all practical.
And there's a question in there, Devaldo: can a serial killer have a part of them which is innocent?
Yeah. All she wants is their seed, and then she's done with them. That's all she. Oh, that she wants. Here's another baby.
Oh my gosh. Hello and welcome to another episode of TheFlixters. Deval and I are bringing you episode number 119. Man, that sounds so weird to say that. 119. And listen, we've got maybe how many more weeks have we got left of the year actually, Deval? Because when this goes out, it'll be kind of like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So we've got about 3-4 weeks.
About 3 weeks, I reckon.
3 more weeks left. So we've probably got about another, in total, probably about 4 episodes left for this year. So we've got some great things planned. But on today's show, as always, movie news, film reviews, we've got a hidden gem, and we've got the usual banter. Deval and I just kind of bouncing off of each other. So first of all, we always do this. We always do some shout outs. We love starting the show off with some shout outs. So Deval, take it away.
Yeah, I've got a few shout outs this week, and a lot of it was reactions on Instagram, actually. A lot of the Flixters, they love a bit of the Insta, I've noticed. So a lot of the shout outs were in reaction to there's a couple of posts we put out. One of them was for a documentary called In Search of the Last Action Hero. And that's something we're going to talk about, I think, next week. Really good documentary. Put a post out about it, about, who's your favorite action hero? Arnie, Stallone, Cynthia Rothrock. Yes, I said that.
Man.
Cynthia Rothrock.
He was the bomb.
Sigourney Weaver, Jean-Claude, Michael Jai White. I mean, there's so many. But it caused a lot of conversation. O'Shea PD said Cynthia Rothrock, he loves her. 80s. She did a lot of movies in the at the beginning of her career. She did a lot of movies in China.
Yeah, man. She was big in Hong Kong.
China. She was there fighting with. She said she got a lot of respect when people found out she could fight just as good as the guy.
I know. She would kick ass, man, and she was brilliant, man. I remember watching. There was this. I bet it's on the documentary because we're going to speak about this. So before we speak about it, obviously I'm going to watch it. But I bet you there's this. Oh man, there's this fight scene she has with. I think it was this Japanese actress. I can't remember, man, and it was always was wicked. I remember that fight scene, and it was kind of like, all right, let's see what Cynthia Rothrock's going to do. And man, she was kicking ass, flying kicks, you name it, man. She could do it, man. Yeah, wicked. I love her. Cynthia the Rock.
Yeah, gangster. She is the Rock, before the Rock.
Exactly.
We have 79 again. He was saying Cynthia Rothrock, China O'Brien. What a classic.
Yes.
He knows about his classic. Black Bright, Black _ Blight. Commented on saying Stallone was the king of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, he was
again,
big, man.
Rambo, Rocky, there's so much more. Tango and Cash. Oh my gosh. Yep. And then Emmanuel _ Emmanuel, we all know who Emmanuel is. He commented as well. And then also Charlie Jai UK.
Yes.
What did she say? She said, I think she was saying that, it was just like a crazy time for these movies, and she's all over it as well. I think she's also loving the 80s style as well. And then also somebody put out a post because it was my birthday. So who was the guilty party? Yes,
you weren't expecting that, were you, man? You know what, right? I was just like, how can I not put something the number one Flixter out there, man? Without you, this show ain't nothing, right? So listen, man, that was wicked. You know what? I mean, those posts, those guys kind of like mentioning, those 80s movies, man. Even today, this day, man, 80s nostalgia. When you just kind of like watch a movie like Die Hard, or you watch like a Rambo movie or something,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of the time, like, you find some holes in those movies, right? But for like kind of nostalgia, for the feels, man, those movies, you can't beat them. You just can't beat them.
The feels, you said it, man. The
The
feels. There's nothing like,
feels.
but it's, you know what? The 80s is making a comeback. I mean, look at Stranger Things. Look at the new
Yes.
Wonder Woman. When that comes out, that's going to be in the 80s, man. I mean,
84.
yeah, honestly. So yeah, can't wait.
Can I wait for that one? All right, okay. So those are the shout outs, folks. And remember, hit us up on the Twitterverse, on the Instagramverse, on the Facebookverse, whatever you want to do it, whatever you want to use, just kind of search for us and you can find us there. We're always love to chat to you about films and TVs and stuff like that, right? Okay, so movie news. This is and it just kind of goes back to that whole thing about the rebooting, rehashing, looking back to the 80s and Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was this huge man in the 80s. This guy was big. Remember Terminator, which put him on the face, of the map. And then obviously you had Predator, you had Raw Deal, you had Conan the Barbarian, all these movies coming out of the 80s. And Predator, that movie is still making waves, right? We still talk about that movie.
Man, do you know what? Predator will never go. Just I mean, this is a monster from space come here to hunt. He just wants to hunt. The tech on it, the enormity of that beast, and he wants a fair hunt as well. He'll let you have your weapons,
and
you
he'll
know, but yeah,
respect you. If you put up a fight, the guy will respect you as well.
Exactly.
So what's going on then? So are we seeing kind of like a comeback of Arnie or what? Or
well, even in our anniversary corner, actually, Predator is going to be there. So we'll mention it there. But before that, yes, Disney now own Fox and Disney own Predator. And they are going to make a new Predator movie, from what I understand. And you know what? I heard it's going to be, or maybe, a prequel to the first 1987 Predator with Arnie. So, yeah, I mean, who knows who's going to star in it, where it's going to be. But if it's going to be a prequel, again, like you said, it's going to be old school. Maybe it's going to be based in the 80s. Who knows? But there is reports that Disney want Arnie and even possibly Adrian, what's his name, Brody?
Yeah.
Adrian Brody back in a new Predator movie. So I don't know how that's going to work. If it's going to be a prequel, Arnie's going to be old. Adrian
Are they
Brody
going
was
to
in the
de-age him, man? Nah, come on.
Oh,
They're going to
man.
de-age him?
I don't know, but I think it's going to be either or. If it's going to be a prequel, have new people in it. If it's going to be not a prequel, then yeah, maybe you can bring them back in some kind of way because they survived, didn't they? So
yeah.
But yeah, either way, I want to see a new one because I like Predator. I really do.
Predator's great, man. It is a great storyline. So yeah, hopefully that's going to come out and we'll speak about that. All right, now let's speak about Oscar Isaac. Now this guy, he was on our movie news probably like about 2 or 3 episodes ago, and we said, listen, Oscar Isaac, the rumor is that he's going to be cast as Moon Knight for Marvel, and we were kind of having a bit of a discussion about this and whether or not that was a good thing. But now this is another big thing, and this ties in well with the episode that we had a couple of weeks ago about the console wars and about PlayStation releasing PlayStation 5, and people will remember Snake, man. Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid, right? This talk of Oscar Isaac playing Snake. What's going on, man?
Yeah, he's all up in it, man. He's all up in it. His name is rising high on the stock. But yeah, it's true, man. That's what I hear. They're going to be making a Metal Gear Solid movie, and they want him to be the star of it, Solid Snake. And I've seen the concept art of it. He looks like he's got like a proper sort of gruffly kind of low beard, and he's got the eye patch and stuff. He looks convincing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know what it is. Maybe Apocalypse for me ruined Oscar Isaac because
I watched that recently.
Him,
It was on TV. I watched it, man. I couldn't deal with it. I was just like, no, man. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it ruined it for me. It ruined him. I mean, he's a good actor, but for me, do you know what? It just ruined it. I can't see him as Snake. Solid Snake is a big guy.
Big.
If anything, it's got to be the guy. What's his name? The guy that's meant to be Deathshot or Deathstroke.
Oh, what
yes,
Manganiello. Yeah, man, he would be a great Snake.
Trust me, he needs to be the guy. Yeah.
That would be great. Person producing is a guy called Avi Arad, and Avi Arad Devaldo. This is a guy behind the Spider-Man movies, and
Yeah. He was like executive producer. He was a bit
yeah,
like the Kevin
Kevin
Feige of
Feige.
back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. So listen, obviously, fans, gamers out there, you're going to probably be excited about the fact of seeing a Metal Gear Solid, live action thing. So me too. So we'll kind of keep you posted on that one. The other big news now, let's speak about this, Devaldo. We'll spend a couple of minutes just speaking about this now. This is probably like going to be industry defining, probably shaking up the industry. Warner Brothers have reportedly decided all the movies that they were going to release in 2021 in the cinema, they've decided to do a simultaneous release on cinema and HBO Max. If that's not a drop the mic moment, man, I don't know what is, man. Seriously, what's going on?
You need your mic. Please don't drop it.
What's going on with the world, man?
Yeah, honestly, well, with Wonder Woman, that's going to start it, isn't it? So Wonder Woman's going to be the tester to see how this really works out. But from what I hear, yeah, like you say, they're going to drop simultaneously. I think first they'll drop it in the cinema, and maybe a week or two later, it will come out on HBO Max. I'll quickly run through what we're expecting next year. Tom and Jerry in March. The Many Saints of Newark. Remember the Sopranos sort of prequel? That's in March as well. Godzilla versus Kong. That's in May. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Oof. That's going to be in June. Space Jam, A New Legacy. That's going to be in July. We've got Suicide Squad or The Suicide Squad in August. We've got Dune in October. We've got King Richard. That's Richard Williams. Serena Williams and Venus Williams' dad. Yep. Matrix 4 in December. So next year, and obviously going on from there as well, other ones that haven't been confirmed. We've got Mortal Kombat, so yeah, man, it's going to be a decent year. I think, the way of the world has now changed. It's not like it used to be, going to the cinema and consuming, movies that way. So now this could be the new norm.
Wow, man. And I wonder what the other studios are, like people like Disney. I mean, what are they probably thinking? Like they're going to wait and see what happens? Like Paramount, like, all those kind of like big company, Universal. What do you reckon they do?
I reckon if this model proves to be successful, they may follow suit, because people like Disney have put themselves in a position to have a good, base on subscriptions when it comes to Disney Plus, and obviously Netflix has as well. But these companies that have their own platform, Disney, they make and they have their own platform. So for them, just like HBO and Warner Brothers, they're, I think they're in a good position. So we'll see if maybe the Marvel films, if they come out on Disney Plus as well. Black Widow still hasn't come out yet, has it?
Yep. Wow, man, that's huge, big news, man, for the industry. And a lot of people probably out there thinking, oh, right, great, I don't have to go to the cinema, I can watch it at home. But remember, these movies are gonna cost you. Do you remember the cost of? There was a Disney. They released the movie Mulan. I think it was Mulan. Did you remember what the price for that one was? By the way,
quite steep, wasn't it? Wasn't it like £25 or something, or $25 or $30 or something? I think because they knew that a lot of people will, be able to take advantage of it, so they didn't charge like the price of one ticket as it would be. So they kind of hiked up the price. But
damn,
interesting times.
Interesting times. Right, we'll keep you posted on that one. Now let's move on to Spider-Man 3. Alfred Molina. This guy played Dr. Octopus in the Tobey Maguire movies, the Sam Raimi movies. But Deval, I mean, what, is he coming back? What's going on?
Yeah, man. Doc Ock is supposed to be making a return, and this is pretty much, I don't want to say 100% confirmed, but you know what? I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. It's reported that it's going to be returning, but we've already seen that Jamie Foxx's Electro is going to come back, and you know what? Whether it's going to be a notable role or maybe just a cameo, who knows? Because I think there's going to be some, multiverse type situations going on. I think in the next Spider-Man, that's what my guess is. So, and also, with the snap that's happened, who knows how that unsettled things. So, yeah, I mean, Doc Ock, Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi ones, that was one of my favorite ones for a long time. That was a really good one. So, Alfred Molina, he'll do a good job.
He's a good actor. He's been around for a while. He's a great actor, so he'll kind of bring that maniacal little face. When he puts on those goggles, man, and when you look at the the comic books, and you see the kind of similarities there, man. Yeah, it all works. All right, let's move on to kind of Disney. Let's move on to Marvel, sorry. And let's speak about Hawkeye. Now, there's been some set pictures being released. If you go online, you can see Jeremy Renner and it's confirmed Haley Steinfeld is going to be playing his daughter in the Hawkeye TV show, and there's kind of like it's kind of like some set photos of them walking down the streets of New York, and so people are kind of like obviously going mad over this. So we know that Hawkeye's coming. We know that she's going to be his daughter, Kate Bishop, and she's going to be the new Hawkeye. But there's other kind of casting rumors or confirmations, Devaldo. What are those? Tell us.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what? I cannot wait. Yes. Florence Pugh. Let me just spit it out. Florence Pugh, who's going to be in Black Widow, who's meant to be their new Black Widow.
Yeah.
She's also joining the Hawkeye Disney show, and it kind of makes sense because Black Widow and Hawkeye in the Disney Marvel Avengers and stuff like that, they've got a good relationship. Obviously, is it Bucharest or Budapest?
Budapest, I think. Yeah.
Like Budapest, they've got like a history, haven't they? So.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if, with the passing of Black Widow in Endgame, that, Hawkeye does lean into trying to guide the next Black Widow forward in her, career. So I'm not surprised at that one. But, I'm sure there's going to be a few more names to pop up on that list. As you said, they just started filming it. So this is going to come out probably, so we're going to get WandaVision first, I think, and then Winter Soldier. And then maybe this. So this is going to probably come out at some point, in the sort of autumn of 2021, I should think.
Yeah. So with that, there's who else was there? So there was that was it. The other actress, Vera Farmiga, is probably has already been.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Papi.
I know, man. She's great. So it says over here. So I'm just reading the blurb. So Pugh is reprising her role as Yelena Belova, sister of Black Widow. Farmiga will play Eleanor Bishop, Kate Bishop's mother. And there's going to be someone called Fra Fee. Do you know who this is? Fra Fee?
No.
Fra Fee, she is cast as Kazi, a villain also known as the Clown.
Their version of the Joker.
Basically, yeah. So, man.
You know what? I mean, Vera Farmiga, she's good, because she can, like, I guess she's going to be like a Russian person, isn't she?
Yeah.
I think she has that kind of look. So yeah, I think that's a really good cast, actually. Yeah. Really good casting.
I watched what was she in just recently? Godzilla, King of the Yeah. She was just in that kind of. I saw her in that, and obviously she's been in the Conjuring universe and The Departed. So yeah, she's great. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on that one. And now Charlie Booker, he's Black. What was it? Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. That's it. Yeah, I was going to say Black Widow.
I was going to say Black Widow as well. Yeah. So kind of like, how many seasons has this gone on for now? It's like 4 seasons, 5? Or?
About 4. I think about 4. Yeah. And then there was that standalone one that came on. Bandersnatch, yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting, where you kind of control the events of just the unfolding story, which was like really, really great. But now, because he's re-teaming up with Netflix, right, for something, Deval.
Yeah, so he's a really good writer and producer of these sort of crazy kind of shows, Black Widow. I mean, Black Mirror. But yeah, so just cut to the chase. He's going to produce a mockumentary on Netflix about 2020. I mean, the year's not over yet, so anything could happen, but it's been a crazy year from the get-go. Lots of events have happened this year. Many events that we're still living with have changed history as we know it. And yeah, I think the mockumentary, I reckon, is going to be really good, because his writing and his sort of mind about making things a bit twisted and, but also keeping it quite grounded, so I think it could be a good one. I'm not sure when it's going to come out. But I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
Yeah, he's, when he writes something, it's going to be kind of like a commentary on something, like, what's going on around the world, but also twisted in a way.
Yes.
So that's going to be great. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on that one. Now, this was obviously kind of, lit up the internet and Twitter and stuff like that. So Elliot Page, people will know this name now. will need to know this name because Elliot used to go by the name of Ellen Page, who recently wrote on Twitter or on social media just to say, I want to share with you that I'm trans, my pronouns are he, they, and my name is Elliot. So Ellen Page, who you may remember from Juno, from Umbrella Academy, from X-Men movies, she's Elliot now.
Yeah, definitely. There's something that, happens a lot in today's society. There's, things that awareness and the, just like how you define yourself and so on. It's a new age compared to, like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, even maybe 20, 30 years ago. So yeah, she's come out and she's being proud of who she is. And I wonder what kind of roles perhaps this may influence her. Sorry, oh my gosh, just did it. But influence him getting in the future. I'm learning, man.
We're learning. We're all learning.
Don't 5 in 10 years now. Watch.
Don't kind of, man. Don't like knock us down, right? We're just all learning. But the one thing, Devat, I'm so glad that you just said that because the reason why I was thinking, oh my God, Umbrella Academy, like what's going to happen? And apparently Netflix, what they've turned around and said was that. Because Elliot played Vanya Harding in the Umbrella Academy, who's female. So they've said that they're not going to change the character, and Elliot will still play that character. So I was like, okay, great. That's like because I really got into that show now, and yeah, man, it's good. It's great. So that's good news. And but yeah, the fact that she came out and like you said, it's kind of like a changing world where people now can. Famous people, actors can have a career after coming out, because before, if you came out as, like gay or anything like that, man, that's it. Your career was over.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, that's all great stuff over there. What else we got on the news? All right, let's speak about this now. Universal Studios. Remember those guys? They've been behind some huge, massive movies. They have been behind some really, really big flops. Van Helsing was a huge flop for them, and people might remember this, but it starred Wolverine. So Hugh Jackman. What they did was Hugh Jackman was this huge, massive, movie star. He was doing really, really well with the X-Men movies, and Universal said, hey, let's throw 20, 30 million at Hugh Jackman and let's bring him on to do Van Helsing, the vampire killer, basically. And yeah, it didn't do really well. So it was just kind of done and dusted. But now there's talk of a Van Helsing reboot directed by Julius Avery, who brought us, do you remember that World War II zombie movie, Overlord?
Oh, yeah, that was all right. Yeah,
that was all right. And produced by none other, James Wan.
Oh, there you go. That's going to be good already.
Exactly. So I don't think, most likely, Hugh Jackman won't be in this, so they'll probably recast it. But yeah, man, I mean, with those guys on board, I'm sure, it can't be any worse than Van Helsing, right? So like, what, that's all great news. So I'm looking forward to that. Not only are we going to see Van Helsing, but there's rumors of Scorpion King coming back. Do you remember Scorpion King? Remember Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? He was kind of like the beginning of his career. He was getting big, right? I mean, he wasn't. Yeah. He was in The Mummy Returns, I think. Do you remember there was that kind of the beginning segment of The Mummy Returns?
Yeah.
And then he was kind of like in this kind of like CGI bit, and then they decided, oh, you know what, right? He deserved his own movie. Let's make the Scorpion King movie. I don't think it did really well, but there's talk of them bringing that back, which is great. Do you think they would bring him back though as the Scorpion King?
Nah, I don't know. I can't see that happening. I can't see it. I think maybe they'll recast. I reckon. I can't see him doing it. Yeah, I can't see it. He's done with that.
This is crazy, right? But just so that you know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, his films gross nearly 4 billion domestically and 10 billion worldwide.
Serious?
And he's booked up all the way up until 2022. So even if he was going to be in this movie, when's he going to do it? It would happen in 2023.
Oh my gosh, this guy, and he's doing his whiskey. Is it whiskey or the tequila? He's got his tequila. He's got his other show.
Everyone's got a drink, man. McConaughey's got one. Deadpool's got one. Like, you know what, man? They've all got one. So, yeah, man, we'll kind of keep you posted on that one. And finally, on movie news, bit of a sad note, David Prowse, who was the actor who played Darth Vader, died aged 85. So that iconic role, obviously the voice was James Earl Jones, got that deep, whenever you hear James Earl Jones' voice, man, it's just synonymous with Darth Vader, right? And obviously, I think he was an English actor, right? David Prowse, is that right, Deval?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Obviously, this iconic role. Could they bring Darth Vader back now? How would they do that?
Well, I guess someone always wears it.
Yeah.
You ain't got to see his face, so I think they could easily do it.
Yeah, but would fans want to? Like, do we need to see like Darth Vader again? Like, or is that just kind of like gone now? That whole kind of era.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because it's kind of like we moved on from that. I shouldn't think he needs to come back for anything, but you just never know. The way they always do these prequels and stuff, and even with Rogue One, we didn't think we were going to see him, but we saw him, and that was it. So you never know, but he's a legend for Star Wars. He was also in A Clockwork Orange as well.
Oh shit! No, I didn't even know that.
Also in that, but yeah, he's a legend for the Star Wars guys.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. So rest in peace there, David. All right. Okay. Let's move into Box It, Watch This. And Devaldo, you're going to tell us about Alien Worlds.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is the show that we spoke about, I think a couple of weeks ago, to say that it was coming out. This is a really clever show. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary that looks at wildlife, really. It looks at wildlife. It's narrated by Sophie Okonedo. Originally, I don't know why, I thought it was narrated by David Attenborough, but it's not. But it's basically wildlife, showing how wildlife exists and interacts with its environment. So on Earth, you have wildlife, in water, and you have wildlife in the desert, and certain wildlife in the desert, for example, they have, evolved to, live in those harsh environments where, you're not going to get a drink for, a week or something. And some creatures, like there's a scorpion that can live without eating for a month. I mean, It's crazy. But the thing about this show is that they look at different planets that are out there in the universe, and they look at what those planets may consist of, like the oxygen and nitrogen, and how close it is to to the sun and stuff like that. And they look at how the wildlife might be if it was to exist on those planets. So on planets that are richer in oxygen, some of the creatures on those planets may be bigger and have more energy because the oxygen levels are higher and stuff like that, or planets where the sunlight isn't really that great, and they're in darkness 24/7. So they'll all evolve to have like great night vision and all that kind of stuff. So it's just really, really clever how the actual documentary explains it, and they bounce back between Earth and then these other planets, and it shows you the comparisons. So yeah, it's really, I recommend it. It's really good, really involving. Yeah.
I don't know. We don't get to kind of like see probably a lot of this stuff, kind of like the animal world and the animal kingdom and stuff like that, and Planet Earth and all those documentaries and stuff. So this kind of like adds to all of that. So yeah, man, this I've read some really good stuff about it. So yeah, it's definitely going to be on the watch list. Let's have a look at some trailers. Well, stuff that's new on streaming platforms, and I've got kind of two that I just want to kind of briefly mention. The first one is Mank. I haven't seen this movie, but people are talking about this. So David Fincher, he kind of did. People might remember him obviously for Zodiac, for Seven, and Mindhunter.
Oh.
Mindhunter's brilliant, by the way. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But he's come back and he's, he teamed up with Netflix again, and he's, brought us this movie called Mank. It's filmed in black and white about the 30s heyday of Hollywood filmmaking. Focuses on this guy called Howard Mankiewicz, who, his nickname is Mank, hence the title of the film. And you know what? It's just basically, his life through that whole era and his whole host of actors, and there are too many to mention right now. This is gaining Oscar buzz. People are saying this is kind of tipped to win stuff at the Toronto Film Festival, which is usually kind of before the whole Oscar stuff goes on, and then obviously do really well. at the Oscars. And I think Netflix are hoping that this does win a lot of awards, just to kind of lift the profile of Netflix, just to say kind of like, hey, we're a streaming platform, but we can make Oscar-winning stuff. So, man, there's a good chance that, this could win. Like I said before, I haven't seen it. It's just been released. And go check it out. If you have, let us know what you think. Deval, have you seen the trailer for it, by the way?
I haven't, no, I haven't. I need to catch it. But one person that's going to star in it is called Tuppence Middleton. And she's actually in the film we're going to talk about later, Possessor. But just the name, because I just remember the name, Tuppence Middleton. Such a posh name, isn't it? Tuppence.
I know. It's mad. It's crazy. And the next one that I want to speak about is this documentary called The Ripper. And I'm not talking about Jack the Ripper. I'm talking about the other famous Ripper. This guy, man, Peter Sutcliffe, he was a serial killer. Yeah, man. This is scary shit as well. So Peter Sutcliffe, he was a serial killer in a span of 5 years, he killed like about 13 people and attempted like 10 other murders between 1975 and 1980. Eventually he was found. He was obviously convicted, and he was given like 20 life sentences basically. And one of the things that when I was doing the reading up on this, he said in his kind of trial and everything, he said that he heard the voice of God. He heard the voice of God telling him to kill prostitutes.
But the thing is, it's a perspective thing. Which God?
Exactly.
In his mind, it's God. But I mean, there's the underworld. People could say there's a God of that underworld. Maybe it was that God he was hearing.
I know.
That's crazy. Is this the Moors murders or someone else?
No, is this the Moors murders? Maybe it was, but yeah, it's basically that whole era of from 1975. There was panic. There was, the public were like, gripped by this whole thing because it could, any woman. So he targeted women, and at first he did just target just prostitutes, but then he started kind of straying a bit, and then he just attacked and killed and murdered just normal women. So
didn't he die recently? This guy.
The what?
In prison. Didn't he die recently in prison?
Yeah, I think he did. He died on the 13th of November in Durham.
Yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
This is it. And this guy, and if you type in, right, check this out. If you type in the Yorkshire Ripper into Google, and the first picture that comes up, you know what? The picture, he looks like flipping Wolverine. This is what's so scary about it. He looks like Hugh Jackman in Wolverine because he's got this beard, he's got this thing growing, like almost afro type hair going. And I'm like, what the hell, man? This is crazy. But yeah, so that's coming out on Netflix, like imminently. By the time you hear this show, I think it's already going to be out. But it looks mad. I want to watch this. All right, Devaldo, let's talk about Anniversary Corner. What are we doing?
Yeah, so we kind of hinted to it earlier, and this is 10 years now, 2010. So where were you when this came out? This is Predators. And this one starred Adrian Brody, Lawrence Fishburne, Topher Grace, otherwise known as Venom, Alice Braga, who's in Queen of the South. And yeah, I mean, also it's got Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo and Mahershala Ali. Oh shit, he was in this too. Oh yeah.
Blade.
Yeah. Imagine Blade versus Predator. That'd be a battle. That'd be a good battle. But yeah, this came out 10 years ago, and this was about a group of, this one tried to take it back to the original Predator, because they were in a jungle, weren't they, in this one?
Yeah, there was the way they kind of fall down and they're like,
yes,
like, who are you? And there was something, they were chosen. There's a particular reason why they've all been chosen. And you kind of start learning about the different people and about why they were and who they were in their kind of like past lives type of thing. So yeah, it was interesting, man.
Yeah. Also, I think Robert Rodriguez was somehow involved in this one.
I think he produced it. So
yeah,
man.
Okay.
That's great.
Damn.
Yeah.
But this was a decent film. The music, there was some bits of the music I think that was quite reminiscent. Even the actual cast, they wanted to kind of reflect, the 87 one. Adrian Brody was like the American, the American kind of guy. Mahershala Ali was a bit like, I want to have me some fun. I forgot his name now. Bill Duke's character.
Yeah, exactly.
Alice Braga, who was like the Latina lady.
Yeah, the Latina. They had to bring
You
that
had
vibe
Topher.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
Topher Grace.
Topher
He was
Grace
like
was a
what?
bit
He
like
was like
Shane
a
Black,
exactly. Yeah, he
the
was.
Joker kind of
But yeah,
thing.
he was a Joker type, and I think he was like, was he like a serial killer or a murderer or rapist or
Yeah, he was
something? Or, it
some
was
kind of.
something.
They were all kind of twisted, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were all kind of Danny Trejo. I think they're trying to make him a bit like the Native American guy that was in
Oh
the last
gosh,
time.
yeah, man.
Billy or something. His name was
Over
Billy.
there, over
And
here.
the tongue bleed. Oh yeah, over there. So they tried. I mean, it had its moments. It
It
had the
had his
Predator
moments.
dogs, didn't they? In this one,
Yeah, yeah.
the Predator dogs, and
Oh my
it had its
gosh.
moments. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this one. But yeah, Predators 2010.
Go check it out, man.
Yeah.
Next one is The Cell, man, and I think this is kind of like is it? Yeah, it's a bit underrated. This movie it's like visually.
Mm. Yeah.
What I
Yeah.
remember about this movie was the fact that visually, man, I was like, wow, this movie looks
Beautiful.
amazing.
Beautiful.
Exactly. You know, Jennifer Lopez, Vince Vaughn, and Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays this mad like serial killer who's hang on, they go inside his brain, right? They do some sort of
Yes.
experiment or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it
A bit
was.
like how. I don't know how do you describe it. Is it not Matrix? I guess they plug into his brain to try and find out because I think someone else is missing or something, or there's some other crime going on, or they try to find out where someone's hidden or something like that. But they're trying to get into his mind, and his mind is a twisted place. It's a twisted place. It's like Freddy Krueger and I don't know what other film mixed up, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Possessor. We're going to talk about Possessor later.
Yeah.
And in The Cell, they kind of do similar things that they do in Possessor. They infiltrate a host and they try and do shit, you know. So it's a bit of a madness, but it's a classic kind of horror sci-fi kind of, you know, combination, which is again similar to Possessor as well. But like you said, it was a really beautiful film, really underrated. Vince Vaughn in it as well, a bit of a Joker, but he was in it. Yeah, beautiful film, really good.
Yeah, yeah, man, it was good. I remember watching this one in the cinema. Yeah, go check that one out. It's kind of different. It's not going to like a typical crime thriller. There's kind of all these little twists and turns in there as well. So yeah, and there's a question in there, Devaldo. Can a serial killer have a part of them which is innocent?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so.
There you go.
I believe so because they were born innocent. So I think that innocence somehow is locked in there. Somehow,
Yeah,
there is something. There are things that they still care for. I mean, some of these serial killers they still have cats and they love their cats and they feed
their
them and they take
mums
care
or
of them
something.
and you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, crazy.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. There's enough of that one. All right. Next up, Hollow Man 20 years ago. Now, this movie was on the TV. I watched this recently, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. And it still has kind of like moments in there where I'm like, shit, man, how the hell did they do this with the CGI and everything? There's a bit in there where they've got the technology, obviously, to turn, someone invisible. But what they do is they test it out on an ape first. When they do that, when that scene comes up, man, the way there's a bit in there where the animal is changing and it's kind of like half of it's invisible, half of it's not, and the way they do that, I was like, wow, man, this is still pretty good. It got slated. This movie got slated at the box office and critically as well. But there's a lot of shit in there to like, I reckon.
That's a good film, I reckon.
Yeah.
You know, it's what, like you said, the special effects 2000 was really good.
Yeah.
Really
and he's
good.
really creepy. He's like dark.
Yeah.
What's his name? Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah. Yeah.
The guy is dark, man. He does shit like, without even just like, there's no qualms. Like, he'll go over to another apartment and he'll just like basically rape someone. That's
Crazy.
what this guy does. He's unhinged. Yeah. This guy's losing his mind basically as well. So if you haven't seen Hollow Man, go check it out and then watch The Invisible Man, which came out this year, I think it was.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, early this year. Actually, and this one's directed by Paul Verhoeven, who was in the documentary that we're going to talk about next week. And he directed RoboCop, Total Recall.
Yeah, man.
What else did he direct? Starship Troopers,
Starship
I believe, as well.
Troopers, yes.
Yeah, so he was an action man, but he actually didn't start out in action. He started out. If you look at his IMDb, he started out doing all kinds of different films in Holland. Yeah, all kinds of different stuff. Very, very different to what he ended up doing. But yeah, Paul Verhoeven is he loves his action. The way he was talking about the action that he likes and what he tries to achieve in his films. Yeah, he's a decent guy. He is really decent. So yeah, nice one.
Go check it out. Okay, next movie from 25 years ago, Species. Again, the plot of this movie is kind of like sci-fi horror, kind of horrific. Like, when you see a beautiful woman, but that beautiful woman wants to basically mate you and kill you and basically, spawn the next generation of subspecies, whatever. What the hell are you going to do? But listen, I mean, we spoke about Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina is in this movie. Michael Madsen, Ben Kingsley, Natasha Henstridge. She plays the beautiful killer, basically. And yeah, man, it was just like she's seductive. She's a human hybrid, and she when she mates with someone, does she then kill that person? If I can remember, is that what it is?
Yeah. She's all she wants is their seed, and then she's done with them. That's all she. Oh, that she wants is another baby.
Oh my gosh, man!
Literally, that's the winning song for this. For this film.
Who was that? What was that band again? Oh my god!
Was it UB40 or something?
No, it wasn't UB40. No. Aswad. No, it wasn't Aswad. No.
Baby, I'm got tomorrow.
Oh shit, that's gonna get me. The blonde hair. She was a blonde haired singer in there.
Oh, is it? Oh, I don't know, man.
Oh god, I can't remember. But listen, yeah. So this movie, it was. That's so funny.
And that's all that she wants. Leave her alone.
That is it. And it kind of reminds me of the what was the the one filmed in Scotland with Black Widow. What was that one again?
Oh, that was I can't remember what it's called now, but that was
It's similar.
It bugged me now, but yeah, that was a good film.
But that's obviously a better movie.
Very sci-fi.
Yeah.
Very sci-fi. We'll get it soon.
It'll come to us. So yes, go check this one out. It's got great character, great actors in there. Forrest Whitaker's in there as well, and they're trying to obviously contain the situation as best as they can. Get the military personnel involved in that, and obviously always thinking about weaponizing it, because that's obviously what they do. I think there was a Species 2. I can't remember if she came back for Species 2 or Species 3 or whatever it was, but they kind of like had a couple of sequels. So, but obviously the original was the best. Now, talking about sequels, let's speak about this one. We already mentioned Predators.
Under the Skin, that's what it was called. Sorry, Under the Skin.
That was
Scarlett Johansson,
yeah,
sorry, just
really
popped into my head.
So we've already spoken about Predators. We spoke about Predator with Arnie at the beginning of the show, but Predator Part 2... Man, I have got a soft spot for this movie. Man, I remember watching this movie, Danny Glover. So they passed the mantle on. So whereas the original starring Arnie, it was set in the jungle, this one is set in the kind of the urban jungle. I remember this Los Angeles, with the concrete, with the heat and all this stuff going on. So the Predator, he finds a new kind of like hunting ground. And then you've got this war going on, this drugs war going on with the Jamaicans, and you've got the do you remember what the other side was? Oh no, it was the police. I think it was just the kind of the police. Danny Glover, he's kind of like part of this team where they're trying to obviously stop the flow of the gang war, and drugs and stuff, getting involved. And then in the midst of all that, you've got this flipping predator, 7 foot tall predator. He's hunting people down. And by the end of the movie, it's Danny Glover versus the Predator. Whoa. Who doesn't want to watch that?
Crazy. But then we had that reveal when he went into the spaceship, and we saw the different, the things that he's collected from different planets, and was there an alien head there as well?
That was it. And then after that, that's what spawned the whole comic books and this whole talk. Oh, when are they going to do an Alien versus Predator? And then eventually, years later, they did do obviously Alien versus Predator. So that was the gem. That was the germ of the whole kind of that whole idea, was seeing the alien skull. And everyone's mind was blown. It was like, shit, the Predator, encountered the alien.
Crazy.
Great. Love that movie. Love it.
Did he rip someone's head off? And And
Yeah,
the
spine.
spine was
You see the spine and everything like that. Gary Busey in this, Bill Paxton.
yeah, Bill Paxton. Yeah.
Yeah, man, Bill Paxton in this.
Oh my gosh.
Man, great. Seriously, great action. But go check that
Nice
one
one
out.
though.
All right, okay. Now, what we're doing for time, Divaldo?
Yeah, we're doing all right. Yeah, we've got
All
a time, now time for our main movie review.
The main event. All right, okay. So Deval and I went out and watched this movie. This movie is called Possessor, directed by Brandon Cronenberg. We've spoken about Brandon Cronenberg on this on the show before. He directed a movie that I spoke about a while ago now called Antiviral. That was his film debut. This is his second movie, and it stars Andrea. Is it Riseborough? Andrea Riseborough?
Yes, that's it. Andrea Riseborough.
And
Christopher Abbott.
Christopher Abbott. And it's this sci-fi body horror. And man, you know what, right? I didn't know anything about this movie. So what I just kind of saw was, it was directed by Brandon Cronenberg. It's his second movie. It's sci-fi, this body horror. I saw the trailer. I said, I want to watch this movie. It's set in a world where, a world of, kind of like corporate espionage where you could pay a company who sends an assassin who their mind is transported to anyone, and then that person can then carry out assassinations. And if you want someone dead, or if you want to get information, extract information possibly, then you could, do this procedure. So Andrea Riseborough, she works for this company. We don't know the name of the company, but it's kind of, set in, I'm assuming, the future, or even could be now. We don't know what the era is, but she plays an assassin and she's really good at her job. She's already done loads of jobs before. She's been doing this job for a while. And the movie starts off with this job. And I was really intrigued. Her brain is transplanted or transported somehow, called a process called binding, I think it is. She possesses another body. And this person, she's walking somewhere, and the job is that she's got to kill someone. And the first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie, you're like, oh shit, this is going to be this type of a movie. Yeah, it's a Brandon Cronenberg. It's a Cronenberg movie. There's going to be blood. There's going to be guts. There's going to be blood. There's going to be gore, you name it, man. And believe you me, there's loads of blood in this movie. Divaldo, am I right in saying that?
And it's not no special effects blood. This is all practical effects. Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy practical effects. So Andrea Riseborough, she plays Voss, and she basically gets sent out, to do these jobs, and her boss is Jennifer Jason Leigh. After she's done these jobs, she's got to have these kind of one-to-one interviews with her. And the purpose of these interviews is just to kind of make sure that Voss is still there. And when I mean still there, I mean in the mind. Because she does these assassinations and because she does these jobs, part of her mind, there's a chance that part of her mind can stay behind in these people. And, she has these artifacts, she has these things, and, she gets asked these questions like, so what is this? And what is that? And can you remember this? And there's a point in her interview where the manager's character says, you're not with your partner anymore. You split up. And she's like, oh, I forgot. So clearly you can see there's some sort of kind of, what's the word, Divaldo?
Discombobulation.
Yeah. So there's some sort of kind of, there's something going on in the mind where it's not all there, right? But she gets chosen to do another big job, and this is the big job. She's got to go into a man's body this time, who is, and this man is dating the daughter, the CEO is this big company, and who's the CEO? Sean Bean. And this guy, Sean Bean, he gets a bad time in all movies, man. This guy, he does, right? He does. And so Andrea Riseborough character Voss, she's got to go into this guy's body. She's got to kill the daughter. She's got to kill the CEO, and then she's got to basically make sure that the guy kills himself to make it all look like as if this is all one big thing. Good plan, right? And the movie then kind of unfolds. in spectacular fashion, because obviously it goes off in different directions and there's this kind of conflict. There's the possession, it starts unraveling, the person starts taking back control. So we're now talking about, like, who's in control over here. Is it Andrea Riseborough's characters? Is she in control, or is it the other person? So there's this whole idea about possession and about who is being possessed. But man, the movie was crazy weird, man. It's like the killings, Devaldo, man. She loves stabbing.
The killings were graphic. They were excessive, and they were a bit old school in their style. In that the blood and effects was all practical. At certain scenes when the knife will go in or someone will get shot. There's a scene where someone gets shot in the face, and you don't often see that in films. There's no cutaway. You see someone get shot in the face and you see the blood spill out. This is a really graphic film, and with the name Cronenberg behind it, with I think it was his dad that made all those The Fly and all those films there, people's heads getting blown up. I mean, the apple has not fallen far from the tree, I'm telling you. And in this film here, it's a really good, continuation of the Cronenberg kind of, style. But do you know what? Towards the end of the film, because what you sort of just described it really well in how the mind may be still attached and stuff like that, and it's not as simple as just stepping in and stepping out and doing the job. And towards the end of the film, it does leave it a little bit open and a bit confusing in both ways. Not just the actors, but also we're a bit confused as to what just happened or what's going to happen next. And I think it's a really good way that it gets left.
I remember
chaos.
It's this chaos, definitely. And the murder in this, because that's what it is. It's you can say like assassination, but for me, it kind of feels like as if it's like murder. He doesn't shy away from lingering this killing in this movie, but I mean, there's repeated, and the blood. I was just like, wow, man, he's not afraid. The director isn't afraid to kind of show that violence on screen. But then it also is this kind of idea about she possesses people to do stuff, but at the end of the day, who eventually gets possessed? Is it her? Her mind gets taken over, and is there a fight back? And so there's all these kind of questions. At the end of it, there are, like you said, it is a bit ambiguous, like in what state of mind, is she left in?
Yeah, I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of still like thinking, what? I don't know. It could be a sequel to this. You never know. But yeah, it's quite clever actually. This film probably it's more clever than it actually, people will really realize. And the fact it's being released during, all these lockdowns and all this madness, and the fact it's not a big budget. This could have been a big budget film, but I think it's probably better that it's not.
Yeah,
it's a bit more of an intimate film, a bit more of a hidden gem kind of thing,
Definitely.
So. Definitely worth a watch, guys. Give it a watch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, not for the squeamish, but definitely worth a watch. I really enjoyed it as well. And go check it out. It's called Possessor. We've got a couple of minutes left. I can try and squeeze this. Let me try and squeeze this one in. Now, this movie, I watched probably about a month ago, and I was obviously I'm going through this phase now where I'm starting to watch more horror films, Devaldo, and a lot of people started speaking about this movie. It's called I Trapped the Devil. It was made in 2019, and for listeners in the UK, I think you can catch this on Now TV, and in the US, if you're listening, you can catch this on Amazon Prime. So the story goes like this: a man is in his house, and it's Christmas time, and his brother and the brother's wife, they decide to check up on this guy. There's kind of like this awkward, estrangement of relationship between the two brothers, and the guy is acting weird, and the brother's asking questions like, "How are you?" and how's this situation, how's that situation. So something's clearly not right going on, with this guy. The brother says to his brother, and says, "Hey, listen, I've got to tell you something. Can I trust you?" And the brother's like, "Yeah, of course you can trust me." He goes, "I've got someone in the basement." And the brother's like, "What?"
Oh my gosh.
"What are you talking about? You've got someone in the basement?" He goes, "Yeah, I've got someone in the basement, and the person in the basement is the devil." So,
oh my gosh.
So when I was watching this movie, I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? First of all, how the hell do you trap the devil? That is like, that is the question that I was thinking when I was watching this movie, right? But they do not answer that question. All right. So if you do go out and watch this movie and you're thinking, oh, I want to know how you trap the devil, you won't get that. What you will get though in this movie is an independent, low budget movie, which is slow paced. It's a slow burner, but the atmosphere behind it, this movie is more of a hidden, it's more hidden than it is gem. But the whole plot line for me was so intriguing that I had to include it in a hidden gems, because you know what? You're not likely to catch this movie. Like, you're not gonna get it. So that's why it's in our hidden gem section. But the whole plot line for me is so intriguing. So as the movie unfolds, the three characters, so this movie takes place in one house, and it's like upstairs and downstairs. They go downstairs to the basement. The brother is like, no, listen, we got to get this guy out. You're crazy. This person is not the devil. But then slowly, the other characters, the two other people, the brother and the sister-in-law, they start to notice something very, very terrifying, something like unnerving is going on whenever they go down into the basement. And all you can hear is you can hear a voice, and the voice is very, very, very creepy, by the way. And all the voice is saying is, let me out, I need to get out of here. So,
oh my gosh,
it's just like, that whole idea, it plays on your mind. Okay, is this really the devil, or is the brother just really, really crazy? Has he lost his mind because he's going through some trauma, which in the movie, yeah, he does go through some, prior trauma. So for me, I was definitely intrigued. And, by the end of it, there is this whole culmination, and there is this reveal, which I'm not going to reveal right now, but if you give it time and you kind of go into it thinking this is a slow burner and this is an interesting storyline, I think there are things in the movie which you will definitely like. It's kind of like a plot which I haven't really heard of. There was kind of like there was a Twilight Zone episode which is similar to this, which I thought was kind of interesting. But yeah, man, it's called I Trap the Devil, and I think it's worth watching, because I'm going through this whole horror phase. So if you like your horror movies, you like your slow burners, you like your psychological kind of slow burners, then this is for you. Yeah, go check it out.
I love me some horror, so I'm going to be all up over this. Trust me.
Yeah, man. Do it. Whew, that's it. That's all we got time for,
nice
guys.
Nice one. Good show. You know what? People are getting some good, gems and good movies to watch, in these, funny times, lockdown, no cinema. So, Flixters, let us know what you think. Do you like the movies that we're recommending? And recommend us some of your great and favorite movies, please.
Yeah. And listen, definitely. I love talking about these movies, because, I wouldn't have known about this movie if someone hadn't told me about it and I did the reading behind it and everything. So, yeah, man. So, if you enjoy the show, like and subscribe, do all that sort of stuff, or just get in touch with us. We would appreciate it. All right, Devaldo. I'm out, man. I ain't got nothing more to give.
All right, peace out, guys. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters Podcast.